Don't be shy, 'cause life won't bring you down too far.
This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. He's back home.
I'm tired, boy.
And people are trying to ring you now.
Yeah. Typical. I'm tired. It's an emotional journey.
Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah, very dramatic, like you said, emotional night last night. And, yeah, just devastating for Dillian Whyte.
You know what? So in these situations, you try and find a positive in it. Number one, Dillian didn't do anything wrong at all. Number two, Povetkin had that one thing left in him, and that was that punch power. The danger for Dillian was up close to begin with. Povetkin with his short levers was dangerous. Dillian was beating him up and beating the fight out of him. He made a mistake. He got caught with a blind left hook. Thought he had it covered. Slipped past the guard. Caught him. That's his best shot, if not the only good shot Povetkin got out of it. So how this should be looked at is the positives out of it is he knows that he made a mistake. Lennox Lewis has done it twice. Anthony Joshua has done it. And I'm quite sure we can go back in history and pick fighters that have done that. He made a mistake. Which can be rectified, which I'm quite sure will be rectified if or when the rematch happens. Again, the rematch will be a lot more lucrative as well, because now all of a sudden, oh my God, Dillian Whyte, he's lost. So it's a rematch again. So that's what you've got to look at as well. But I actually think that, it's something he's learned. He's had to learn some knowledge. The only downside for it would be ego. So if your ego's like, oh man, I can't. So once you've got that in check, everything else is cool because you think I didn't do anything wrong. It's just one of those things. Dylan's not one of those fighters where I think it'll break him. I actually think he'll think, you know what, I made a mistake. He's very grand. I made a mistake. That won't happen again. And that's it. I think he's very, very matter of fact about it. And it's not that he's not bothered. It's just that he understands and he's not gassed out thinking, oh, what have I done wrong? What should I have done? It was just a bad piece of luck.
I think since last night, obviously, he's not said too much. I think he did an interview with Sky this morning at fight camp. But I think his attitude's right. Listen, he got caught. He knows he was winning the fight, but he got caught. And what can you do? Just focus.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? And I've got to give props to. I was working alongside. I was working alongside AJ last night, so I've got to give props to him because we've seen fighters where they take advantage of an opportunity like this to really kick him out when he's down. AJ didn't. And the thing is, Dillian didn't do it to AJ when he got turned over against Ruiz. So these guys, even though there may be some bad blood there between them, there's some professional respect between the both of them, which to me was commendable, which to me I thought I rated. I like that. If you two don't like each other or not, at least you respect each other professionally to say, well, it was one of those things. And it just made a mistake. And the thing is, you look at the fallout from last night to this morning, the amount of support that Dillian has, because people thinking this man has just got so much bad luck, waiting 1,000 days and he gets caught with a lucky shot. And it was luck. It was luck because Povetkin was on the bad end of a beating. And so it's just how Dillian, if he's mentally stronger to deal with it, I actually think he is. So I actually think it improved him as a fighter.
This is always going to be the risk, though. I mean, he's been undefeated since that Joshua defeat 4 odd years ago. And he's been taking, risky fight after risky fight. He's obviously sat there as number one for all that time. The Parker fight was a dangerous fight, and that was touch and go. The Rivas fight was a dangerous fight. This fight, again, here was a dangerous fight. But he's picking these opponents to a certain extent, isn't he?
The thing is, he's learning on the job. So you could pick easy opponents and get found wanting when you get to top tier. So he's learning on the job and becoming a better fighter for them each time. And that's the best way to learn practical experience. So again, he gambled. It was a risky gamble, risk reward. And this time, risk outweighed reward, and he's had to pay the price of it. And Povetkin, again, how he conducted himself afterwards, he said, yeah, it was a good fight. He gave me a good fight. Let's do it again. And so again, he's at this age, he's 41 in 2 weeks' time. At this age, he's still in the mix, because this could have been his last fight at this level. Now he's got the chance to make some proper dough to sort himself out for life.
I mean, Povetkin was kind of, I think it was Tony Bellew that was saying the other day, he's outside of the four, if you like, which included Dillian Whyte. Povetkin was kind of the next one on the list, but he's put himself firmly back into the heavyweight fold. He had that draw with Michael Hunter, and it just goes to show that one win last night has just kind of reignited his career.
Yes, so I'm not going to backtrack on what I said. I think before the fight, I thought Dillian would absolutely muller him because I thought that I thought Dillian would absolutely muller him, because I thought he was going in the right direction career-wise. Everything was his way. He was strong. He was young. He was hungry. Povetkin. It wasn't a fight he was 5 years ago, but he proved he still has that punch. So I actually didn't think it'd go past probably 6 to 8 rounds. The way it was going, it looked like that as well, but obviously not the way it turned out. So Dillian didn't manage to. He made a mistake. He wasn't outboxed. He wasn't outfoxed. He wasn't outsmarted. He made a mistake, and so those that. I know, because he's going to be open to criticism where people say you shouldn't be losing to people like that. I'm quite sure we could look at many fighters down in history that have lost to fighters they should lose. It was just one of those things in our sport. And so I love his attitude. I spoke to him earlier on. His attitude is very matter of fact. He's like, it happens, we'll get it on again, I'll fix it. He said he doesn't have to change anything in training camp. Everything was right. He said there was a couple of punches that I've got to look out for. And that was one of them, and I thought I had it covered. End of. Whenever
we're in these situations where this immediate rematch, it's always a gamble, and you always wonder if it is the right thing to do. In this instance, it does seem like where Dillian Whyte is in his career, the best option for him is to take a rematch. But I think it was Eddie Hearn that was saying yesterday that, they will think about it as well, because 2 back-to-back defeats, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but worst case scenario, 2 back-to-back defeats against Povetkin. That's difficult to come back from. So,
I hear that. So they said the same thing about Anthony Joshua with Andy Ruiz. Right. So what I'm saying to you is, it depends on. It's down to the individual. So your case points are individuals that mentally have not been strong enough to jump straight back in and get over the shock of the defeat before. So Dillian is one of those fighters. Come on, you know him personally. You know how this man operates. You know how he walks and talks and how he's got that chip in his shoulder. Do you think this is going to mentally dent him? He's one of the men that wants maximum violence. He's like, come on, let's have it. I don't think it'll make any difference to him at all. And so in what he's done, I don't worry about it at all. I think it's the best thing he should do.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think in this situation, someone like Dillian Whyte, there wouldn't be another option to him. I think even if
they gave him another option, he wouldn't take it.
Yeah, I agree. I think he'll want to put this one right, 100%. Yeah. And he's more than capable of, because we saw enough in that fight to know that, that punch come out of nowhere. Credit to Povetkin, not taking anything away from Povetkin.
That's what I'm saying. And anybody that tries to slag him down for that and belittle his ability for that, any heavyweight that's out there, he's just being spiteful, stupid, and childish. Because as a heavyweight, everybody knows you can get turned over with one shot. So any heavyweight that's out there, it's just about to jump on a bandwagon and slag Dillian off for that loss.
How can you
you're gonna make yourself look stupid. So let's see how the week unravels. Listen, remember, this will suit certain fighters. This happening to Dillian, and so I think it's just one of those things. It's how it is. It's life.
Remember, you obviously remember it wasn't that long ago, it was a few years ago, obviously, when David Price was beaten by Tony Thompson and went in for the rematch and didn't quite work out for Tony.
Yeah,
David.
but you're talking two completely different individuals. David Price has a proven track record of not being mentally strong when the pressure's on, when he's in there. He's got a track record of that. Dillian Whyte, after losing to Anthony Joshua, he elevated himself to being one of the most improved fighters in the heavyweight fighters in the world. Elevate himself to getting a mandatory position. He fought the best, the people that people didn't want to fight. So Dillian Whyte has proved mentally he's strong enough, and he has the cojones to say, no, come on, let's have this. I want this. And there's only a few heavyweights that like that.
Oh, absolutely. But I mean, you were there pretty much close to ringside, and I think I was talking to David Hay a little while ago, and he asked what it was like there, and it was without the crowd there, it made it more eerie, the knockout, didn't it? It made it more.
Yeah, it did. I know it sounds stupid to say, but you heard the silence.
Yeah.
You understand? It was like, oh, and it was, even then when he landed, it was like, even that was just stunning. And it's real. And this lockdown is probably letting people see the rawness, the true beauty or the true brutality of our sport. And it's real. And you understand how much these guys are getting in and what they're actually doing, how hard it is for them.
We had that reminder last year of heavyweight boxing when Joshua lost, and I don't know. This seemed to me last night being there. It seemed as equally as shocking as well. I mean, I know it's either or what you think, but I think that was kind of even though the level of opponents was kind of more evened out last night than what was supposed to be in Joshua and Ruiz. So that shock factor was he was never meant to lose, but we always knew Povetkin was a threat, always.
Yeah, I think bar Povetkin's team, I think most people thought Dillian would do a job on Povetkin. Most people, and so and Dillian didn't overlook him and think it's piece of piss this, because he didn't. He boxed well, beat him well, hit him well, manoeuvred well, and so he did everything right. He didn't. It's not like he just overlooked him. And that's what it'll be. And again, he'll go in there with the same confidence and look at the fight and think, yeah, that was right. Now I'll look out for that. Let's see if he gets me next time.
I mean, if they're talking about that fight happening towards the back end of this year, that's not long. You're talking about probably we're coming towards the end of August now. December, maybe 3 months between then if it's going to happen this year?
I bet you're talking end of November. That's number one. Number two, I think the only thing that's damaged on Dillian is slight concussion, which you have a rest off. You have like two or 3 weeks off, then you're back into it again. He's already a step ahead in regards to condition-wise. It's not like he has to get himself down to condition. Into a condition like he did from Saudi Arabia to this point here. He's already kind of in condition. So I think now, especially with what's happened, it's going to make him so hungry and chomping at the bit. They're going to have to keep him out of the gym over the next couple of weeks because for fear of him overtrain.
We'll just see what happens. It's just nothing's a given in boxing. I know, especially heavyweight boxing, but you can't take anything for granted. Whatever you think is going to happen doesn't always play that way. All right, Johnny, listen, thanks for your time. I know we only got 30 seconds of you last night because you were on your way into the dressing room to see Dillian.
Yeah. He was all right. Good spirits. He was the most jovial one in there, so it was all right. It was cool.
What did he say to you in there when he was in there last night?
He just said it's how it is. He was all right. He said, honestly, I'm all right, man. I just made it. He understands, and we all, what we see, the emotion gets involved. He understands what happened. He understands, it was just one of those things. He was very grounded and matter of fact about it. Look, this happened. Let's get over it, peeps. Just cut your emotions, put it in a box. This happened. We'll fix it. Let's move on. And he was probably the coolest one in the room.
As a fighter, I'm assuming it's more concerning when you're getting beat up for rounds as opposed to something that happened last night, because it can happen to anyone now.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why he can be very matter of fact about it. Shit. So it is. And anybody watching that think, yeah, it's one of those things. And it could happen. They could fight each other. You know, it could happen once out of 100 times they fight, and that's the one time it happened.
Remember that fight years ago with Froch and Jermaine Taylor?
Yeah, yeah.
Froch was losing that fight, which he'd admit, and then they literally
pulled it out.
Pulled it
Jermaine Taylor, and that's what I'm saying. Jermaine Taylor be thinking, shit, you know what? That one punch, let's do it again. So that's just how it is.
Johnny Nelson, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV.
Blessed. I'll see you later, bro.
I'll pick up with you in September whenever the next batch of shows are.
Yeah. All right. Listen, it was the end of fight camp, and it was good setup, good vibe, good competition, and you know the rule of fight camp. You know what it is? There is no rules.
No, that's not the slogan.
I made it up.
It's no easy fights.
Yeah, no, there is no rules.
First rule of fight camp is you don't talk about fight camp, so shut your mouth. Johnny, thank you very much. And
all right, I'll speak to you later, man.
Catch up with you soon, bruv.
Yeah, all right.
All right, peace.
Peace.
Shy, 'cause life won't bring you down too far.